Look at everybody waving to you. That feels good.
Oh, it's wonderful. We've got a wonderful, warm reception here.
Oh, nice.
Donald Trump will be back here in a week, and we're going to be campaigning hard all across this country and all across Iowa.
Okay, so let's start with some of the latest headlines. On Friday night, Donald Trump was in Michigan, as you know, and he was making an appeal to African-American voters.
Sure.
And he used some language and messaging that some people have taken umbrage with. I'll read some of it to you. He said, "You're living in poverty. Your schools are no good. You have no jobs. You have 58% youth unemployment. What the hell do you have to lose?" That was an appeal to vote for the Trump-Pence ticket. What do you think of that message?
Well, it was such an honor for me and really a privilege to be with Donald Trump earlier in the day as we toured neighborhoods devastated by the flooding in Baton Rouge. I saw this broad-shouldered leader and his profound compassion for the hurting families in Louisiana. And I think that message and other messages all proceed from the fact that Donald Trump and I both believe that we can do better for every American. We can get this economy moving again. The liberal democratic policies of our major cities have resulted in failing schools and unsafe streets in too many areas. And Donald Trump is speaking to that boldly, and he really believes, and I agree with him, that by getting this economy moving again, lower taxes, rolling back regulation, focusing on American energy and trade deals that work for Americans, and also by expanding school choice for every American, that we can get these cities working, we can get America working.
When he was talking about inner city blacks and the unemployment rate there, he used a number that was higher than what the Bureau of Labor Statistics says. He said 58% of black youth are unemployed. The Bureau of Labor Statistics says it's 14.5%. But put that aside for a moment. What specifically will he do for inner city blacks?
Well, I think what he'll do is we're going to change the direction of this country from 7.5 years of policies that have seen 7 million more Americans living below the poverty line than when Barack Obama became president of the United States. Look, Donald Trump and I believe that we need to bring real change to this country, and that's not going to happen unless we change the leadership. I mean, Hillary Clinton is essentially running for Barack Obama's third term. She's advocating more taxes, more spending, more regulation, exactly the kind of things that have resulted in the slowest economic recovery since the Great Depression. Donald Trump and I believe that what worked back in the 1980s, less taxes, less regulation, making the right investments in infrastructure, roads and bridges, is going to create a growing American economy, and that's going to lift opportunities for people that live in our cities and that live all over the country.
But specifically for the inner city, are there things that you can say to black voters right now that are living there that how they would get jobs that currently aren't available to them?
Well, I think by promoting something different than what Hillary Clinton's advocating, which is more taxes, more regulation, more Obamacare, we're going to lift the fortunes of job creators all across America. I mean, the reality is that the majority of jobs that are always created in this country are created by small business owners. But Hillary Clinton's plan to raise taxes, Hillary Clinton's plan to increase regulation is going to continue to stifle growth in this economy like we've seen for the last 7.5 years.
So in terms of the language that he used on Friday night, you were okay with it. You're living in poverty, you have no jobs, what the hell do you have to lose? You were okay with it being that blunt of a message?
Well, look, Donald Trump is not a experienced politician who carefully selects his words. He speaks right from his heart, right from his mind. And what you heard this week is a leader who is determined to make America great for everyone in this country. And I think you're going to continue to see this campaign in the days and weeks ahead speak directly to Americans in every community about what our plan to make America great again is going to mean for them, mean for their families.
Let's talk about some of the changes that have been happening in the campaign. Paul Manafort out, Steve Bannon now the CEO, Kellyanne Conway now the campaign manager. What do you think of those changes?
I think there's always a time as you approach Labor Day where campaigns evolve and change and have additions, and I expect that to continue to be evidence of a campaign that's on a roll. I mean, you look at this last week, Donald Trump laid out a compelling vision for confronting radical Islamic terrorism. He laid out a message for law and order in every community in this state. He showed his mind and he showed his heart, both in his speech on Thursday night and in the compassionate way that he visited with hurting families in Louisiana. And I think these changes are just all part and parcel of seeing this campaign come together. And look, the race is on. This is going to be a competitive race all the way to the end, but I truly do believe we've got the right candidate, we've got the right message, and this movement is going to carry Donald Trump all the way to the White House.
Were you consulted about these staff changes?
Well, Donald Trump and I talk every day. We'll keep those conversations private, but
you supported the change of Paul Manafort out and Steve Bannon now at the top.
I'm grateful for the job that Paul Manafort did for the campaign, both in the primaries and through the convention.
So I
fully support.
Well, what do you think went wrong?
The man that is running this campaign is now and always has been Donald Trump, and I couldn't be more honored to be standing shoulder to shoulder with him.
What would you say was the problem with Paul Manafort's leadership?
I think Paul Manafort made a decision to step down just so that there wouldn't be any distractions in the campaign.